Dude, I know you, gamer that you are, don't care much about your social life. And if you do, these games are going to end it for good, in a good way. I've picked 18 PS5 games that will keep you glued to the couch in front of the TV. These aren't just any games, they're 10/10 titles, true works of art. The PS5 is packed with amazing games, so stick around until the end and start writing them down. No sponsored list and no sucking up. Without further delay, let's get to the list.
Number 1, Stellar Blade. Kicking things off with a game that absolutely stole the spotlight, Stellar Blade. Guys, if you haven't played this yet, you're sleeping on a legit masterpiece of action. First off, let's talk about the combat. It's tight, like God of War meets Nier Automata tight. Playing as Eve, that feeling of nailing a perfect parry, seeing the enemy stagger, and finishing it off with a flashy, high-speed combo, it's pure adrenaline. The boss fights are where this game truly shines. They are massive, visually incredible, and demand absolute focus. I spent a whole evening just trying to master one specific boss, and the moment I finally beat it, best feeling all year. The world itself, this ruined post-apocalyptic Earth, is stunning. It's got that melancholy beauty to it, mixing technology with nature. Eve is a fantastic protagonist too. She's driven, and her story is surprisingly deep, dealing with humanity's last stand against the Natiba. What really keeps you hooked is the progression. Constantly finding new gear, upgrading your skill trees, and unlocking new outfits. You just have to see what comes next. My only tiny critique is that the lore dump at the beginning felt a little dense, but trust me, you get past that and you are in for a non-stop action ride that will make you forget what daylight looks like. This is essential PS5 material.
2. Rise of the Ronin. Next up, we're strapping on the katana and heading into feudal Japan with Rise of the Ronin. Team Ninja absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one, giving us something different from the usual Neo formula. This game's strength is its historical open world, mid-19th century Japan, right on the cusp of modernization. It's such a rich setting. I love how you can explore busy port cities and then jump on your horse, or even a glider, to traverse the massive countryside. It's got serious Ghost of Tsushima vibes, but with that signature Team Ninja depth in the combat. Speaking of combat, it's deep. You're constantly switching combat styles on the fly, finding the perfect counter for each enemy type. It makes every encounter feel strategic. It's challenging, but rewarding, and the key counter mechanic is addicting. I spend hours just perfecting my stance switches against challenging enemies. The story is cool too. You get to interact with real historical figures and make choices that genuinely impact the narrative. It makes you feel like you're truly forging your own path as an unaligned warrior. If there's one area that could use a polish, sometimes the open world traversal outside of the glider can feel a little conventional. But the sheer variety in weapons, the deep combat, and the incredible setting, yeah, your couch is calling and you won't be leaving for a while. 3. Doom: The Dark Ages. Man, get ready for the glorious chaos of Doom: The Dark Ages. The Slayer is back, and this time he's wearing medieval armor and wielding a saw shield. Seriously, this looks like exactly the dose of pure, insane demon slaying we needed. What makes Doom destroy your social life? The pace. It's frenetic, intense, and demands 100% of your focus. The game brings back that always move forward combat. You kill to gain health and ammo. It's a brilliant gameplay loop that traps you in a rhythmic dance of death. The Dark Ages theme is the big twist, and it looks epic. Medieval fortresses, giant armored demons, and the Slayer looking like a terrifying mythical entity. The game delivers those insane arenas where you balance glory kills while dodging massive attacks. I love that the Doomslayer never speaks. He's simply a force of nature. The story is simple. Demons die. That focus is perfect. The only thing that worried me was whether they would mess too much with the core formula, but thankfully they didn't. It's just bigger and more brutal. This game is a true heavy metal show in the form of violence. Your friends will be worried about you, but you won't care.
Number 4, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Let's change the mood completely and dive into the chilling, atmospheric nightmare of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chernobyl. This is not your typical shooter. This is a deeply immersive, survival-focused experience. The unique draw is the world, the zone. It's the most hostile, unpredictable open world you can imagine. This is a massive, seamless slice of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, complete with anomalies that can vaporize you, horrific mutants, and other stalkers who are either trying to rob you or become your fleeting allies. The atmosphere and the sheer tension are what make this game addictive. The gameplay loop is hardcore survival. You're managing radiation, hunger, and sleep while trying to secure rare artifacts to sell for better gear. Every bullet counts. Every step is a risk. That feeling of slowly pushing deeper into the zone, knowing you're risking everything for a payoff, is pure gaming heroin. The story is non-linear and promises massive, consequential choices, giving it incredible replayability. I love that the zone feels truly alive, constantly throwing unpredictable hazards at you. If I had to express a worry, it's that this series is notoriously challenging and sometimes punishingly obscure, which might turn some people off. But for those of us who love deep immersion and brutal survival, get ready to lose weeks to the zone. Your social media feed will be nothing but static after this one drops. 5. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Alright, let's talk about the game that has been absolutely dominating every console since November, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. If you've seen your friends lately, they're probably lying about playing this. What makes Black Ops 7 a social life destroyer is the sheer variety of content and the relentless multiplayer grind. We all know the loop: chasing those high-level weapon camos, grinding out the battle pass, and trying to master the new maps like Fate and the remastered Standoff. That competitive, just one more match feeling is designed to keep you locked in. The campaign this time around is a huge leap. It features an innovative co-op structure which is nuts and has that classic Black Ops feel. Deep conspiracy, massive globe-trotting action, and cinematic set pieces. It's the most invested I've been in a COD story in years. And we can't forget zombies. The new round-based map, Astro Bot, set on an asteroid observatory, is pure chaos. That co-op loop of fighting massive hordes, navigating the complex Easter eggs, and constantly upgrading your weapons is an addictive cycle that demands late-night sessions. The core gameplay is exactly what you expect: tight, responsive, and incredibly fast. It's the gold standard for FPS feedback. My only frustration is the massive storage space it eats up on the PS5. But honestly, for that triple threat of an innovative campaign, ultra-competitive multiplayer, and deep zombies mode, Black Ops 7 is the reigning champion of console time sinks. Your friends will forgive you for missing dinner. Eventually. 6. Ghost of Yōtei. Next on the list is a game that instantly screams, I'm gonna spend 100 hours here. Ghost of Yōtei. Sucker Punch Productions already showed us the magic of feudal Japan with Tsushima, and now they're taking us to a new isolated island. The big highlight here is the atmosphere and sense of isolation. Imagine the stunning visuals of Tsushima, but focused on the island of Hokkaido and the mysteries surrounding Mount Yōtei. This isn't just a continuation, it's a completely new, self-contained adventure with a new protagonist. It's all about reliving that feeling of being a lone samurai. Combat is the main attraction. If they refine the incredible standoff system and the multiple stances from the first game, this is pure perfection. That feeling of going from a stealthy ghost infiltration to a loud, honorable samurai duel is what makes the gameplay loop so fantastic. The world is perfect for exploration. You still follow the guiding wind through snowy fields and bamboo forests, getting lost in photo mode. The side quests are as meaningful and personal as they were in Tsushima, bringing real depth to the supporting characters. If they nailed that, we've got another masterpiece of the generation. Impossible to put down.
Get ready to spend countless hours wielding the katana. 7. Black Myth Wukong. Get ready for one of the most visually spectacular action games we've ever seen, Black Myth Wukong. Based on the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West, this game looks like it's going to redefine the Souls-like genre. What makes it a true social life destroyer? The boss fights and the difficulty. The game delivers deeply challenging and visually stunning encounters against mythical creatures and powerful warriors. That Sekiro-like feeling of finally defeating a boss that beat you 20 times, that's the addictive loop that keeps you glued to the controller until sunrise. Playing as the Monkey King, Wukong, the combat gains a unique flair. You're not just dodging and parrying, you're using a wide variety of magical transformations and special abilities. The gameplay is incredibly fluid and fast-paced. The world design, inspired by Chinese mythology, is breathtaking. It's a completely unique aesthetic that sets it apart from traditional Western fantasy settings. The difficulty is extremely punishing for some players, but honestly, that's part of the charm of this genre. If you're looking for a challenging, action-packed, story-rich game that demands your full focus, Black Myth Wukong is the perfect choice for you.
8. Returnal. Switching gears to a PS5 exclusive that is pure high-stakes adrenaline. Returnal. If you want a game that demands your absolute, undivided attention, this is it. The unique factor here is the roguelite structure mixed with third-person bullet hell. You play as Celine, stuck in a terrifying time loop on a hostile alien planet. Every time you die, the world changes, making no two runs exactly alike. That constant sense of unpredictability and risk is what makes it so incredibly addictive. The gameplay is lightning fast and precise. The PS5's DualSense controller implementation here is amazing. Feeling the trigger resistance change when you use different alt fires? Next level immersion. The combat requires you to constantly be moving, dodging, and weaving through a screen full of glowing alien projectiles. The story is fascinating too, slowly piecing together Celine's history and the mystery of the planet Atropos over countless loops is deeply compelling. You have to make just one more run to unlock the next piece of the narrative puzzle. My only point of frustration, and this is intentional, is the permadeath mechanic on long runs. Losing hours of progress is brutal, but that risk is what gives the wins such a euphoric rush. Returnal is a masterpiece of atmospheric, demanding gameplay that will make you forget you even own a phone.
Number 9. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Get ready for another dose of pure Kojima weirdness that will completely consume your mind. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. If the first game was already a social life destroyer, this sequel is going to erase your physical address entirely. What makes this game so addictive is the atmosphere and the philosophical depth. It's not just a game, it's an experience. The mood, the music, the desolate landscapes, everything pulls you into this bizarre and fascinating world. We're back as Sam Porter Bridges, and the new mechanics, like the customizable mobile base, show that the Strand game is evolving in incredible ways. The core of the gameplay, the traversal, is what hooks you. It's meditative, challenging, and rewarding. The feeling of meticulously planning a route, battling the elements, and finally making that delivery is strangely satisfying. The terrifying new BTs and the expanded lore are perfect additions. The story is already guaranteed to be a mind-bending puzzle. With Troy Baker's character fragile and the whole cast returning, you already know the cutscenes and narrative twists will keep you glued to the screen, trying to figure out what on earth is going on. It's a Kojima game, so expect long and confusing cutscenes. But honestly, I loved losing myself in the surreal beauty of the on-the-beach setting. This game is going to demand your time, and you'll gladly give it. 10. Dying Light: The Beast. Let's go back to the zombie apocalypse, but with a horrifying twist. Dying Light: The Beast, man, this game brings back Kyle Crane, and the idea of him becoming a literal monster is pure gold. The big highlight here is the primal brutality and the new powers. You're not just fighting the infected, you're fighting to control your own beastly, rage-fueled side. The gameplay delivers the parkour and first-person combat we love and cranks the savagery to the max. Imagine that amazing Dying Light parkour, but now you can use monstrous strength. The world, the vast and unpredictable wilderness of Castor Woods, looks like a terrifying playground. Techland is a master of the day-night cycle, where at nighttime genuinely makes you panic. And now knowing that you're also part of the horror show, that's a whole new level of tension. The co-op mode is also a massive social life destroyer. Playing with friends to take on huge hordes and survive the night, that shared terror and shared triumph is addictive. I just think the story isn't as engaging and personal as the atmosphere, but even so, having refined parkour, brutal combat, and monstrous powers, that alone makes it worth keeping your PS5 running all night.
Number 11, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. Now let's talk about a game that doesn't just destroy your social life, it destroys your free time. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. This is a hardcore historical RPG, and I'm completely on board. The big highlight here is the uncompromising realism and absolute immersion. This isn't fantasy, this is 15th century Bohemia, meticulously detailed and historically accurate. The game forces you to deal with the realities of medieval life, complex needs, deep skill progression, and a challenging technical combat system based on real historical fencing. That depth is what keeps you hooked for hundreds of hours. You're back as Henry of Skalitz, and the open world delivers 2 massive maps filled with historical towns, realistic castles, and political intrigue. The gameplay is entirely about living medieval life. You start as a nobody and truly have to learn skills, from alchemy to reading to survive and progress. I love that the protagonist, Henry, is an ordinary man thrown into historical chaos. His story is personal, dealing with revenge and climbing the social ladder. That personal growth is incredibly satisfying. Unlike the first game, which they will hopefully improve, there were issues with bugs early on and a somewhat harsh difficulty curve. But if you want a massive, immersive, intelligent world that rewards your patience, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 will become your new obsession. Say goodbye to the outside world. 12. Astro Bot. Let's take a quick and joyful detour into a game that proves the PS5 can be pure happiness, Astro Bot. It may look cute, but it's a brilliant and addictive platformer. What makes it a social life destroyer is the pure joy of discovery and the magic of the DualSense. Team Asobi is simply genius when it comes to the PS5 hardware. The gameplay revolves around exploring incredibly creative worlds, finding hidden secrets, and feeling the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers in action. Every jump, every surface, every gadget has a unique feel in your hands. The game is a huge celebration of PlayStation history, and finding all the Easter eggs and cameos from classic Sony characters becomes a totally addictive loop. You have to find them all. The level design is genius, constantly introducing new mechanics. Astro Bot is the perfect protagonist, pure charm and adventure. The worlds are vibrant, colorful, and full of detail. My only complaint is that it ends too quickly. This game is pure, unfiltered fun, and showcases the very best the PS5 has to offer. It's the kind of game you finish and immediately want to jump back into to 100% every single level. A must-have for the console. (13) Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Alright, strap in, because we're talking about the undisputed champion of superhero gaming on the PS5, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. If you own a PS5, this game ended your social life. The uniqueness here is the sheer sense of freedom and speed in the traversal. Swinging through New York City has never felt this good, especially with the addition of the web wings. That feeling of launching from a skyscraper, gliding across Central Park, and then diving back into the web-slinging flow, it's pure joy. The gameplay is phenomenal because you're juggling two heroes, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and both have distinct fighting styles and powers. The symbiote powers for Peter added a brutal, visceral edge to the combat, making the fights even more dynamic and spectacular. The boss battles, especially those involving Kraven and Venom, are massive, cinematic spectacles. The story is incredible, tackling deep themes of addiction, friendship, and sacrifice. Venom is easily one of the best villain interpretations we've ever seen. My only minor critique? Sometimes the map icons felt a little repetitive. But honestly, the main story and the side content revolving around the city were so strong, you didn't even care. Spider-Man 2 is a polished, emotional, and non-stop thrill ride that defines the PS5 library. 14 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Next up, we're hopping back into a galaxy far, far away with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This game is exactly what we wanted from a sequel. Bigger, deeper, and even more immersive. The unique selling point is the lightsaber combat and the Force. Playing as Cal Kestis, the combat felt fluid, demanding, and incredibly cool. Having multiple lightsaber stances, like the dual wield and the heavy crossguard, added so much strategic depth. Mastering the parry siming and reflecting blaster bolts felt like an authentic Jedi experience every time. The world design is fantastic. Instead of a linear adventure, you had massive, multi-layered hubs like Kobo, full of secrets, challenging platforming, and tons of exploration. The Metroidvania-style progression, where you constantly unlocked new abilities to access previously closed areas, kept you hooked for hours. The story took Cal into a darker, more complex place, dealing with survival and hope in the shadow of the Empire. The relationship between Cal and his crew felt genuine and personal. If I had one complaint, it was the technical performance at launch, which was a little rough, but patched up quickly. Still, Jedi Survivor is an epic, rewarding action-adventure that beautifully blends Star Wars lore with truly great gameplay. This is a massive game that demands your time.
Number 15. Silent Hill 2 Remake. Let's talk pure dread and psychological horror. Silent Hill 2 Remake. This is a terrifying classic, meticulously rebuilt for the modern PS5 era, and it sucks you in completely. The uniqueness of this game isn't jump scares. It's the overwhelming atmosphere and psychological horror. Playing as James Sunderland, the town of Silent Hill isn't just a place. It's a reflection of his own guilt and mental torment. The PS5's visual fidelity and 3D audio make the fog, the distorted radio static, and the disturbing environments feel heavier and more claustrophobic than ever before. The gameplay loop is all about exploration, puzzle solving, and survival. The combat is deliberately clunky and desperate, reinforcing that James is just an ordinary man battling internal demons given horrific physical forms. That sense of dread and helplessness is addictive in a twisted way. The story is legendary. It's a deep, dark masterpiece about guilt, grief, and the human psyche. The emotional weight of James's journey and encountering monsters like Pyramid Head is what makes this game so unforgettable. My only caution is that the slow pace and psychological focus aren't for everyone. But for those who want a dense, mature narrative experience that will genuinely mess with your head and keep you awake at night, Silent Hill 2 Remake is a must-play.
(16) Alan Wake 2. Get ready for one of the most innovative and mind-bending experiences on the PS5. Alan Wake 2. Remedy absolutely crushed it, redefining what a survival horror game can be. The unique genius here is the dual protagonist structure and the meta-narrative.
You're constantly switching between FBI agent Saga Anderson, investigating a bizarre cult in the Pacific Northwest, and Alan Wake, trapped in the terrifying, ever-shifting dark place. The shift in atmosphere and gameplay between the two is brilliant. The gameplay is tense, resource management horror, but the mind place mechanic for Saga and the plot board for Alan are what kept me totally hooked. Actively piecing together clues and rewriting the story to change the environment, that level of player agency in the narrative is insane. Plus, the seamless transition into live-action footage, mind-blowing. The story is a layered, cosmic horror masterpiece, blending Nordic mythology, true crime, and Stephen King-level weirdness. It is complex and demands you pay attention. My main critique is that the combat for Saga felt a little less impactful than the horror and exploration elements, but that's a minor point. Alan Wake 2 is a pure work of art that will consume your free time trying to figure out its incredible dark mystery. It's an easy 10 out of 10.
17. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. Alright, let's talk about a game that caught everyone off guard with its stunning art and massive potential to consume countless hours of your life. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. This is a title entirely focused on depth and pure role-playing beauty. The big draw here is the visual art style and the epic scale. The game looks like a living painting, inspired by 19th century French artwork. You embark on an impossible mission to save humanity from a curse, and the absurdly high visual quality makes every environment feel like elevated high fantasy. The gameplay is turn-based RPG combat, but with an incredible twist: real-time defensive actions. You need to time your blocks and parries perfectly, blending the strategic depth of turn-based combat with the active rhythm of an action game. This demanding rhythmic system keeps you completely immersed. The protagonists, a tight-knit group of characters, are on a final, desperate mission, and that emotional weight makes the story extremely compelling. You'll spend hours strengthening each one, customizing their gear, and mastering their synergy in battle. The narrative manages to match the insane level of visual design and the complex combat system. If you're ready for a massive, beautiful RPG that demands deep strategy and endless progression, Clair Obscur will become your next essential obsession. 18. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake-Eater. And to wrap up this insane list with a golden finish, we have the king of tactical espionage, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake-Eater. This isn't just a remake, it's a full preservation of one of the greatest games ever made, now with the stunning fidelity of the PS5. The big highlight here is the survival and stealth gameplay in more open areas. You are Big Boss, trapped in the jungle during the Cold War. The gameplay forces you to manage camouflage, hunt for food to heal, treat your injuries, and master the art of CQC, or close quarters combat. This complex and demanding survival system is what makes the game a true time devourer. The jungle environment is incredible, a massive, multi-layered game world where every enemy patrol, every snake, and every tree branch matters. The tension is constant. Trying to sneak past guards and suddenly stepping on a twig and triggering an instant alert is pure classic Metal Gear adrenaline. The story is iconic, a masterpiece of conspiracy, betrayal, and tragic heroism. Big Boss is an unforgettable protagonist, and the final moments of this game are among the most emotionally devastating in gaming history. Playing this legendary thriller with modern graphics? You'll lose days in the dense jungles and its unforgettable narrative. This is essential gaming history. And that's it, guys. 18 certified 10 out of 10 PS5 games that will destroy your social life and keep you glued to your controller until your eyes turn square. Which game on this list has already stolen your free time? Or which one are you planning to start first? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video.